Hi, I'm Eric Kimball back here with another video, a mini bed gardening video. This is the season. It's April. It's an overcast but beautiful morning, and morning is the best time, I think, as well as late afternoon, to be in your garden. Before the heat of the day comes, first thing, get the sunlight, get a little exposed skin so you're producing that much needed vitamin D, and it's so satisfying to be in the garden. But I have a chore here that I want to tell you about and explain how to do something. And what I have is a mini bed that I planted to peppermint years ago. It grew well. In fact, it grew too well. It grew into a dense tangle. And if it were not in a mini bed surrounded by the plastic bunker cover mulch, it would have spread out. And as it is, it has spread across this span of plastic right here, and it's starting to get into my raspberry bed here. And maybe that's not a bad thing, but I don't want that. I want to get rid of this. I planted it because I wanted the peppermint. I've made peppermint tea in past years, but I really haven't used the peppermint in this bed. I can use this bed for other things that are more useful or more needed than peppermint. So I'm faced with, how do I get rid of this dense mass of peppermint roots that are in this bed? And I get rid of them by using a fork to loosen the soil, okay, and then just eradicating, pulling up all the roots that are down here, okay. Then what I'm going to do is put the mini bed back on, but I'm going to put plastic over this. What I will do before I put the plastic in is I'm going to put some fertilizer, some soil amendments, and some compost, and some shredded leaf mulch on here before I cover it with plastic. And I'm going to leave that plastic there for a year, maybe more, maybe 2 years. I don't know, whatever it takes to smother out any remaining roots, because although I'm going to get a lot of roots, most of the roots, there's going to be a lot left there, and they're going to want to grow. That plastic will smother them out. The point I want to stress here is that this is manageable. It's a pain to dig this up. I've kind of put it off. I should have done it last year, but it's manageable. Mini beds are small but productive, surprisingly productive, because it's high culture. Really take care of the soil in the mini bed, and you've got the sequestered subsoil moisture all around for the roots of your plantings to draw from. This is going to be a manageable chore on this fine morning, and I just want you to know that's how you would take care of a perennial that you don't want anymore, that's established itself very well. Now, years ago, I had a horseradish planting in my conventional garden before I went to the mini bed system here, and it grew horseradish, lots of horseradish, and then we decided, well, we don't want horseradish anymore, but the horseradish kept coming up, and the only way to get rid of it was to cover it with black plastic for a year. And maybe we covered it for 2 years, I can't remember, but the black plastic will do it. You cover any perennial you want to get rid of with the black plastic. So that's just something that I want to communicate to you who are interested in mini bed gardening. You have manageable beds, manageable to plant, manageable to work in. Each bed is a separate little field, and it's a kind of a psychological thing as much as anything else. So I'm going to take care of this bed this morning, and maybe I'll just show you a little bit of digging up these roots. Look at that, that's a mouse nest. Yeah, we do get mice in the mini bed garden. I think there are mice in every kind of garden. They make channels from bed to bed. Elliot Coleman has a little box with a mouse trap that he puts out in his garden. Not his mini bed garden, but his regular garden, to catch mice. I've thought about doing that, but I haven't done it yet. Lots of things to do in the mini bed garden. It's manageable, but there's still lots to be done. I mean, it's not a no work garden. It's a less work and a more satisfying work garden. Look at those. That's a nice bunch right there. That's the process. Pull out the rocks when you see them. Get this bed in good shape for next year or the year after. When you're a gardener, you're always thinking ahead, right? So right here, you can see I got a wheelbarrow full of those roots and the peppermint plants. There's the bed, all cleaned up. And I've got a bucket of leaves I'm gonna put on there before I put some plastic and a mini bed frame. The mini bed frame was kind of rotten, so I'll make another one. And I want you to see, if you can, that is raised up. The whole mini bed, when you cultivate the soil with a fork, it raises the edges of the mini bed, okay? So the frame will sit on the top. I'll show a picture at the very end. So no rototiller needed in the mini bed garden, but a good stout garden fork like you see right there. And then my modified hodag. Love that tool, use it all the time. If you haven't seen my video about my evaluation of short-handled hoes, I'll put a link in the description. This is a hodag, but it's a modified hodag. All right, so here's the bed. It's all finished. It's all ready to just set there for a year or two. I'll look under it in the spring next year. I got a double layer of that plastic, which I've salvaged. I used it on other beds during the winter. Got the leaves on top there, and that's raised up a pretty good amount. I don't know if you can see that, but it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's it. I got a frame from elsewhere in the garden that was in better shape than the one that was there. I flipped it over. You can see it's wet on top. That's what we do. We flip the frames over when we work in the beds to distribute the rot evenly. Hopefully have them last longer. I think it does help. Well, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I hope you found this entertaining and instructive. If so, give me a thumbs up. I sure do appreciate it. Bye now.